Boom, welcome back to the Sebs Show, everybody. It's your boy Sebs. Today we're breaking down UFC Hamburg, Shogun versus Smith. Pretty good card from top to bottom, as I usually say, but I really like this one, especially for a European card. Usually not so stacked, but this one I like.
And there's a lot of sleeper fights on this one.
Yeah, a lot of sleeper fights. Let's jump right into it, man. We got Damien Stasiak taking on Pingwan Liu. And Gabe, I'll let you take that one.
Sure. Damien Stasiak, he's had a few rough fights as of late, but I think he's a very tough grappler. He's got a good spin kick, likes to use it. He can miss with the flashy kicks, but he's good once he plants his feet and prepares before he throws his kick and gets his confidence high. And then he can start really getting involved in the Davey Boy Grant fight. It went a little south for him, and it was a little tough. Very good on the ground, good takedown work. I think that's what won him the fight. Finishing that fight with a torturous armbar in the third round, that was nice. Very consistent work. Grant went for a few strikes in his guard, but he shrugged that off. Again, he might miss with that kick, but you know what? Liu's pretty quick, and he's got a super fast right hand if he catches you in one spot, which Damien Stasiak does have to be in to land those kicks. He's got to be off the. If you're off that front leg, he'll crash into you, and you're going to the floor. He's good at faking high and diving in for a takedown, and he's really good at playing a good game of with grapplers off of his back. I believe he got a triangle choke at one point early on in his fight. So. So you gotta get it back. All right. Yeah, you're on. So
all right.
Yeah, and I guess I actually I could see Liu winning this fight if he catches Damien Stasiak lazy off that kick when he misses, or if he raises the leg and kind of he's bouncing on one leg. So I actually got Liu in this fight.
Yeah, I didn't do much tape on Liu, but from what I know is like he doesn't have the best sub defense, and that's something Damien Stasiak can exploit because he's got a pretty good jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah.
Damien Stasiak's no joke on the ground.
Davey Boy, right?
Yeah. Well, like especially with the fight with Davey Grant, you saw like his jiu-jitsu, but you always see like his like he's just got a strong top game.
Mm-hmm.
He's done transitions and everything. It's just a good grappler, and it's a tough fight to call because I don't know too much about Pingwan Liu, but I'm gonna get side with Damien Stasiak here. Okay, the next fight. Oh, wrong feet. Jeremy Kimball versus Darko Stosic. Darko's jacked, eh?
Oh, for 200 pounds? He's pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. He's jacked. But like, yeah, that guy throws heavy bombs. Not much more I can say, bro. The guy doesn't bring like that much of a game like to the ring, I think, or the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
He just like throws some heavy bombs, got some all right boxing, throws in a leg kick every now and then, but nothing like out of the ordinary. And then Jeremy Kimball, on the other hand, he lost his last fight, I believe, to Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
Rear naked choke, and then he actually beat Josh Stansberry, knocked him out, and he lost to Rogerio de Lima. Surprisingly, I don't know, but I like Darko Stosic in this matchup. I just think he knocks out Jeremy Kimball again.
Mm. Yeah, he again, Stosic, he for 200 pounds, like, what, 230, 240, he's quick, really explosive power. I mean, he's moving you with any sort of leg kick or punch. I'm just not sure how consistent he is if he has to really pour on the punches and the machine gun punches. He's good at it when, he's got someone on the ground, but I mean, who isn't? He's lost a fight in the first round before because he does have a high guard, but it can come low at times, especially after he tears through with that big overhand that's a weapon. That's putting you on the floor. Again, I think the guy he lost to, Jiri Prochazka, he isn't in the UFC yet, but he's on an 8-fight win streak. He's on a tear too, and Stosic is on an 8-fight win streak. He can be a little clumsy at times. I think at one point he threw a punch and he missed completely, and he hit his head on the mat. Again, Jeremy Kimball can kind of jump on you for stuff like that. He's a bit of a slow starter with his chin in the air. Always kind of, again, that's a big overhand right waiting to happen. So I can see why you're picking Stosic. You can go with the missed kicks pretty well, even when he follows through with it. Likes to hit you on angles, and landed a really clean hammer fist. Landed at an awkward angle just while standing so tall against someone, which he probably could, land a really awkward punch on Stosic. He's a bit of a counter defense guy, but he can feint pretty well, and he stands in the pocket for a little too long, but I mean, it can also bite the other person as well, because I mean, these are heavyweights. So I actually like Jeremy Kimball in this fight.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of love on Twitter.
Is he? I actually wouldn't think this is a big pick. I would think that you'd be like, I don't know, man.
No, a lot of people
Really?
not betting him, but a lot of people are picking him to win.
Oh.
Yeah, more than Darko.
I'm surprised.
As Darko hasn't shown what he's capable of, and the line's just obscure. It's just not there at all.
Is it because the fight's on a Sunday?
No.
Or just
it's just because the line's just huge, man. It's just, what is it? It's like fucking. No, now it's like I think it's like 250 now. Mine's 250 now. But it was at one point, it was getting close to 300, and like Darko hasn't shown anything, so I don't know, that's a hard pass for sure. Next up, Manny Bermudez versus Davy Grant.
Oh, shit. Try to get the audio back for you guys real quick. All right, you're back. Did you want me to start this one off? Or are you going?
I'll start it off.
Okay.
Okay, so Manny Bermudez. We have Manny Bermudez taking on Davy Grant here, and the Bermudez Triangle, man. His jiu-jitsu is no joke, eh?
I like it a lot.
Yeah, he's slick. So something I'm looking forward to. But he's quick at taking your back. He doesn't have the best stand up, but he gets it done on the feet. He's got some all right boxing, enough to like get it where he wants the fight, and then he pretty much takes you down and submits you.
Yeah.
If it's off his back or if he's on top, he doesn't care. He gets to mount. He'll do a mounted triangle, submit your ass real quick. DB Grant's a guy who likes to get submitted. His 3 losses.
right when you said 3 losses.
Oh fuck! I had to cough there for a second. But yeah, he's got his 3 losses.
Yeah.
Fucking Damian Stasiak. I don't remember who the first guy was, but I remember he did also lose to Chris Holdsworth as
Yes.
well. Yeah, he's got an all right stand-up game, decent stand-up, nothing out of the ordinary as well, like nothing too crazy. But I think he gets taken down a little too easily, and I think that's where Manny Bermudez is in the shine here. I think Manny Bermudez takes him down and submits Davy Grant. I got 3.5 units on Manny Bermudez. 3.5 units on Manny Bermudez at minus 235 to win 1.48 units. So let's go.
I think this is a really interesting fight on the card because you got 2 really good submission guys who are almost similar in light, but their signature moves are different because Davy Boy Grant's signature submission is the rear naked choke. He has just as many of those as Manny Bermudez has Bermudez triangles. It's actually pretty good. And what's funny is one submission that Manny Bermudez has is the rear naked choke. So I'm kind of curious who submits who in this one. But I think if it doesn't make it to the
Manny's better on the ground.
If it doesn't make it to the ground, Davy Boy Grant has a pretty good chance. He's got a good spinning backhand. He's got really tricky weapons. They can kind of go off at any time. He's got a bit of an energy management issue. Sometimes he tends to run a little dry, and when guys go for takedowns, which Manny Bermudez will do, he could get him. But I think Manny Bermudez showed a bit of a chin reaction when he got clipped by that one shot. Even in the fight that he won, he got clipped really early in the first, and kind of had to keep well on the ground, keep attacking and going for stuff while he wasn't doing any ground pound, and he was able to lock it up really beautifully. But I'm wondering if he could take one of Davy Boy's surprise attacks, and if those can come in the first round, second or third, it can get tough for Manny Bermudez to stand with him. And if he gets too anxious to take it to the ground, it's going to be obvious. And Davy Boy Grant's also pretty good at staying far away. He kicks lazy at times, and it can be tough if opponents are always on him and putting him on the fence. But, Bermudez, man, so good at transitions. He's really quick in the early rounds. He's very calm. He can be calm, but again, what's really impressive is when he starts from half and then starts to move around, really able to kind of sink you back down and put you in a spot where you can't work from, and he's just kind of waiting for something to line up again, and then he goes for it, and then it doesn't work, holds you back down, and springs back up. It's quicksand, and like I said, if Davy Boy Grant goes there, I think Manny's jiu-jitsu will come out on top. But I think if the fight stays standing, Davy Boy has it, and I think even if it goes into the late rounds and Manny Bermudez gets clipped, he might get a little scared and not even go in for takedowns as much. So I think I got Davy Boy Grant in this fight, man.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Manny Bermudez here a lot, man. In this spot, Davy Grant gets submitted.
He does.
Manny Bermudez taps people out. That's what he does.
12-0 person in the UFC, yeah.
No, man, he's tapped out so many people, not just one person.
No, not just one person, but Davy Boy Grant's got a bit more experience in going a little later rounds. Don't you think?
I don't know about later rounds. Maybe
I think he has more 3-round fights, and I think he has a bit of an amateur background too. But Manny
was the last one.
He has a bit of a amateur background as well. Manny Bermudez does too, but it's only a few fights.
Yeah, and Davy Boy is a small bantamweight compared to
Yeah,
Manny. Like, watch when they face off. Like, Manny's like 5'10".
it
Manny's
says
got a
Davy
reach
Boy
on him.
Grant's like 8 inches tall, or sorry, two taller in height.
No,
Manny Miranda is at 5'6". Apparently, Davy Boy Grant is at 5'8".
yeah, he's 5'8", and Manny Bermudez is 5'10".
Really? This is 5'6" here.
Manny Bermudez? No, he's big, bro.
Is he?
Yeah, man.
It must be a mistake or something.
You have to use Tapology.
I should, yeah.
What are you on, Sure Dog?
Yeah.
For sure. That piece of shit website. Yeah, but like I love Manny Bermudez here, man. His transitions and everything. He's just so slick on the fucking ground. He's so slick.
Oh yeah, not denying that.
I think if he gets us to the ground once, it's over.
Oh, for sure. It's quicksand, man.
Yeah, so I got Manny Bermudez in this fight, man. One time to the ground and it's game over. Next fight is, I believe, Justin Ledet versus Aleksander Rakic.
Rakic.
Yeah, I like that. Rakic is former kickboxer. A couple of his fights are on YouTube, actually, and he's just a fucking monster. If you go back and you rewatch his fights on the regional scene, he's just a beast, taking people out. He's got a very nice body kick. Sets it up well with a jab. He's got crisp combinations. I'm thinking what else this guy can do, but I think he's just like a really good kickboxer in my eyes. That's what basically he stands for, and apparently he's got some ground game too. Like according to Newsom MMA. Yeah, he said
he's been working on
it. No, he's been.
Or he always had
it. Apparently, like he's just like a beast on the ground, apparently, or something. I don't know, but we'll see. I like Rakic in this fight to keep distance and chop Ledet down with leg kicks.
Yeah, 6'5", man.
Who's 6'5"? Ledet?
Rakic, yeah.
Rakic is how tall?
6'5".
What?
What does it say there? 7?
No, 6'4".
Oh.
But still, that's big.
Yeah.
They're both 6'4", I believe. I know that has but yeah, I like him to keep range, keep distance, work the jab, and work leg kicks a lot, and just throws timing off, that's timing off of the jab, and like work his lead leg so he can't work his jab anymore. So I'm taking Rakic in this one. I think that has a really nice boxing game. I think he's one of the few guys in MMA who uses boxing very well still. And he's got a beautiful jab and nice lead left hook. Nice right cross as well. But other than that, he doesn't bring too much to the game. He doesn't have a kicking game. He doesn't check leg kicks. He doesn't bring a whole lot other than the boxing. But so I'm going with Aleksander Rakic here. I got 2.5 units on Aleksander Rakic at plus 109 to win 2.72 units.
Yeah, I'd probably go that way too. I was looking for one of Rakic's really early fights where he loses by submission. That was the only fight I couldn't find. But again, other than that one loss in the very start of his career, he's got nothing but wins, pretty much mowing through everybody. Yeah, well, he has the one north-south choke, so he does know what he's doing on the ground if he can get you there. And sure enough, he can definitely beat you up on the stand-up to put you on the floor to really easily lock something up. You know, he knocks people out, man. Everything looks like it would hurt. Real big and scary against fighters like Barroso. He got clubbed with that leg kick, and it moved him off the spot. He's got good head movement, good feints. Like any good striker, he sets it up nice. He's got a bit of a wide stance, but I mean, super high level. Knows when to throw the leg kicks and kind of have polished control over his stuff. Justin Ledet, 5 fights as a boxer. If you look at his box rec, I think he got all those wins and never lost, and then just went to MMA. He's got a submission. And he's not much of a submission guy. Actually, in the interview, he was saying that was like the first time a takedown's worked for him. He's got a really, like I said, like you said, he's got a really good jab. Really dangerous with those hands, fast for a heavyweight. He does tend to take leg kicks instead of really checking or grabbing them. But he does sneak a nice left hook in, so it's not like he has nothing. But you're not going to want to take 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those in a round and have to walk around on that, because it's going to be real difficult to track Rakic down. He's still pretty fast, and he's good in the 3rd round, man. Justin Ledet got the good takedown against the fence, but I'm not sure if we can rely on it to work again. But I mean, he does really believe in his submission, and he's got a lot of confidence in what he has. So he's definitely using the tools, and he's using them properly. But I think Rakic possesses a bit more with the kickboxing background, and I think he's going to make Ledet pay a lot. So unless Ledet's willing to get hit a lot and make big sacrifices early, I don't think he'll be able to pull it off. So I think Aleksander Rakic takes it too.
Okay. Next up, we got Narimani take on Khalid Taha. Narimani beat Paddy Pimblett for the Cage Warriors featherweight championship. He's a fucking beast. He's got great hands. He's got good takedowns. Nasty submission game. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Probably a brown belt now, but he works really well on the ground. He's got like that stocky short frame, kind of like a Chad Mendes. But he's got power in his right hand, man. He's got dynamite, and he sets it up very well with his jab, and he uses his cross very well. He's very good inside the pocket and darting like inside and outside of range. I like him in this position too against Khalid Taha here. Khalid Taha he's good, but like I don't know. He's got some strong hands and everything. He's got some submission skills as well. He's got a couple submissions on his record, but other than that, man, the guys, I don't see him being able to compete with Narimani that well. I would have bet Narimani, but I'm all stocked up on bets. I don't know. I just like Narimani a lot in this spot. How about you, Gib?
Yeah. I think he does a lot of things well. He swipes his left hook across and throws a big right hand. Maybe lands a leg kick, and he can do a knee straight through to the chest if he wanted to, hit the solar plex. Good off the draw and really quick. You have to keep your eye on him early. He's got a really good duck and kick placement. He walks around with a bit of an unbalanced swagger to him. He brings his feet in. So, Khalad's pretty quick, actually. His speed is pretty high. I would say maybe their speed is about tied, but I mean, I've seen more clips of Taha Khalid Taha really chasing guys down and sprinting. Once he gets guys on the floor and he starts throwing punches, it's pretty crazy. He can really turn the heat up. He throws punches kind of like the Khabib and everything, kind of moving people around whenever they post. Very tough, and it doesn't leave you alone. Again, this style puts you right up front and center for all all damaging punches that Narimani has. He's got a rear naked and triangles, and has gone 5 rounds before. So I think he's got more stamina than Taha. So I think Taha's he's gonna look quicker in the very beginning, but I can see him slowly fading as the fight goes on, and Nad taking it in like a decision or something.
Yeah, I also see Nad taking it.
I don't think Taha's had a 5 round, right?
I don't think so.
No, he hasn't.
Okay, so next we got Emil Mac take on Bartosz Fabinski. Bartosz Fabinski, man, that guy is relentless on his takedowns. Once he breaks you down, he's like a steel blanket, like Brian Stan said. He just lays on top of you, and he just knows how to get the round by. Very smart fighter, doesn't take a lot of damage. And when he throws bombs on the feet, he throws some heavy fucking bombs. Emil Mac, on the other hand, knows like his strength isn't stand up, but he got ragdolled by fucking Kamaru Usman. He got absolutely ragdolled.
Yeah, that was a rough fight though, man.
Yeah, Kamaru ragdolled him, and I see Bartosz being able to do a lot of the same things that Kamaru did with the takedown and whatnot. I think Emil Mac gives up the takedown a little too easily. I think Bartosz was throwing around guys at 185, man. So like at 170, he's a fucking force. You guys saw against Hector Urbina what he did. He's a monster, man.
His fight got canceled after that, right? He was supposed to fight someone else.
Probably. Let me see. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Nicholas Dalby.
Yeah.
He would have fucked up Nicholas Dalby.
Yeah, and he's had a 3-year break. That's pretty. It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but I don't know. I trust him. I like him a lot in this spot. So I got 4 units on Bartosz Fabinski at plus 152 to win 6.08 units.
Emil Meek, again, very tough fight with Kamaru Usman. Got roughed up, but I mean, he tried his best. I mean, he really did pot the kicks and kept Kamaru back for a while. Tried a guillotine on him. He really tried to contest him everywhere in terms of wrestling. But Kamaru Usman is very effective on the ground and was able to keep Emil Meek there. And even on the stand-up, he was too tired to really pose an offense. But normally Emil Meek has a rough style and he berserks forward. If you throw a weak punch and he walks by it, he's gonna clip you with something big. Emil Meek doesn't throw light. He throws bombs all the time. I definitely think that if he gets to the ground, you can stop a lot of that because he does tend to slow down a lot on the ground. He doesn't make any big moves. So I think on that front, Bartosz Fabinski can definitely pull it off. He's very fast at getting right to the ground. So, again, that's real bad for Emil Meek. It's not that he will submit you, but he will make it a complete nightmare to deal with. Non-stop punching. The Hector Urbina fight, he just dragged him and screwed him up. You need some amazing jiu-jitsu to stop this guy on the ground and set him up for something, or at least just keep him at bay so you can wait for the round to be over and hopefully stand.
You need some ridiculous wrestling to not get taken down by this guy.
Oh, God.
You got to be a really good wrestler.
More or less, if it's a stand-up fight, I mean, Emil Meek, he doesn't hustle to keep if he doesn't hustle to keep Fabinski back, it can be game over. So I don't know. I think Emil Meek still packs a big punch, man. But again, I like the fact fighters have these 3-year breaks and like they're pretty much ready to go. But I'm wondering if Emil Meek, like after that Kamaru Usman fight, sometimes you're in there and you see fighters and they're like, yo, this guy doesn't even hit me as hard as the last guy did. It's not the same pressure, not the same anything. And, I could see Emil Meek taking it still. He was still on a good knockout streak before he lost his fight. So, I like Emil Meek in this fight. But, I mean, they're definitely not putting him up against someone who's going to give him a good shot at it. It's another Kamaru Usman pretty much. So Emil Meek's got to knock him out early. So I think that's the only way he wins it. I hope he takes it.
No.
And he gets back into contention or something.
No.
He only has 3 losses, man.
He can go fuck himself. I want Bartosz Fabinski to win.
He kind of looks like Soda Popinski, from Punch Out.
Mike Tyson.
Look at the picture.
Soda Popinski. Okay, so next up is, I believe, Nick Hein.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Hein versus Damir Hadzovic.
Oh, wait. All right. All right.
Yeah. I'll let you take this one.
Nick Hein, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Damir, right? Yeah. Again, Nick Hein, Tiger Muay Thai, always strong. Like I said before, I'm a big fan of his Drew Dauber fight. Just showed what he's all about. I mean, counter hooks galore. He can get a little slow when fighters don't engage because he's a good counter fighter. Good southpaw style with a piston left straight down the middle. Very good from side mount. Really putting a lot of pressure on opponents to make them spend energy points early and try to fend off teams, and he can just keep countering away and then picking when to fight. Those are his best fights. When you wait for those counters a little bit too long, which can kind of cost him points. So decisions haven't tend to go his way, but he can still pull off the. I wonder if he can still pull off the backflip though. Have you done that?
Who?
Nick Hein in a while. I remember he used to pull that off.
I have no clue.
So he's pretty nimble, man. I mean, Damir Hadzovic though, careful, standard, keeps a nice pace throughout the fight. Really good jab to keep fighters honest, and he can kind of pinpoint you and surprise fighters down the middle, keeping them away from each other. Keeping them away. Damir hits with a lot of authority and scares a lot of opponents. Their posture just kind of shows that this guy means business, and they really have to be on their toes. Some fighters might look like punches are grazing off them, but I mean this guy seems like they really hurt. His aggressive behavior has gotten him KO'd before. Marabek Taizamov knocked him out. He's got a good gas tank though, and he goes through rounds, but not as many as Nick. Nick goes more rounds than him, I'm pretty sure. Like more 3-round fights. I don't know, man. I think Damir might take it.
You think Damir might take it?
Yeah.
I think that's risky inside Germany. Boy against the Nick Hein here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
No. Like it's good to pick Damir, but I'm just
No,
saying.
but you're right. Yeah, he's
I
not winning a decision, man.
Well, he might if he does enough work, but if it's like close, it's probably like gonna go to Nick Hein. We've
Yeah.
not. I don't remember how the judging is in Hamburg though, or in Germany. I don't remember how they are.
Mm.
The last time we were there was fucking Josh Barnett versus Andre Arlovski. I'm pretty sure. I don't even remember how that went.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, Nick Hein is like, not to jump off of too much of what you said, but the guy's like a polished striker, very technical. Um, I think he gets into battles a little bit too much at times. Demir, on the other hand, um, other polished striker, man. They're two good strikers. It's hard to pick a winner in this one, but I think I'm going with Nick Kine.
Yeah, it is in Germany, man.
He lives in Germany, man. Next up, we got the main card, David Zawada versus Danny Roberts. You want to take that, Gib?
Yeah. Danny Roberts. What impressed me here is that I felt Danny Roberts would lose to Inkem. I'm pretty sure, but previously got a head kick knockout by Nordine Taleb, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah. He seemed to fix the problem though, because he blasted Inkem with a huge left hand that put him on the floor, and had a lot of sharpness to it, and didn't even allow him to follow up. He's got a good southpaw, man. He started off his career with 3 TKOs. Good at knees. He's got a pretty good pause submission game as well. Damon Zawada, first time in the UFC, and surprising number of KOs. Recently giving out his third submission in the third round against Michael Michalski. He's got a lot of problems. He's got a lot of stamina. I think he's a good matchup for Danny Green. I think the speed is good. They're about the same. They tend to both stay away from each other at the same time and kind of engage on the step backs. Both pretty good at stepping back and firing, but I like Danny Roberts in this. But again, I mean, it's in Germany. They do. I think they call him Sagat from Street Fighter. Kind of looks like it. Again, his striking is definitely at that level as well. Crazy kicks, good accurate punches. Tends to always go for a lot of those big right hands. Yeah, I think David Zawada might take it. It's in Germany, so I think I'm starting to lean towards the home team at this point. But I do like Danny Roberts in this one, so I don't know, man.
I've seen like David Zawada get lit up, man. So,
yeah, I want Danny Roberts to win it.
I really like Danny Roberts in this matchup. I think he's a better striker here. He's just gonna play it on the feet, and I think he's just gonna piece up David Zawada until the ref calls it off, man. I got Danny Roberts in this one. Next up, we got Marc Diakiese. He got Nasrat Haqparast. Diakiese is good at all that spinning shit, as Nick Diaz would say. But he is actually good at that spinning shit, man. He's very flashy. He's got good hands actually for a guy who would use Taekwondo as his main his main style. But he's got good hands as well. Very good wrestler from what I see. I think this is gonna play out on the feet because I think Nasrat's gonna shoot for a takedown, get kicked in the head or something, and then he's gonna want to keep it on the feet. Uh, I think Marc Diakiese is the faster fighter. I think he's the better striker, and I think he picks apart Nasrat on the feet, and he gets the job done over 3 rounds. I think he gets the job done, and I got 3.72 units on him at I believe minus 186 to win 2 units.
Yeah, I like Marc Diakiese in this fight too. Kind of going off what you said, I like his kicks a lot. But he does have, I think he has as good hands as he does legs, but he does tend to kick more than he throws punches. I think when he gets less confident and he hasn't landed for a while, he starts to throw lots of surprise kicks and kind of adds extra movement to it. And I think even the announcers were saying like, yeah, he needs to kind of stop, going to these kicks and setting it up a little bit better. But I mean, he hasn't beaten by Jakar close. So
against just to throw you off, against Dan Hooker though, he wasn't using all that spinning shit.
Oh yeah.
He was way more calmed down, patient. So I think we see that kind of
both tough fights though.
Yeah.
Again, he's very fluid when he does kick. And I think this is going to be interesting because both Nasrat and Marc Diakiese like to talk shit. So you're gonna see some. I think it's gonna be a decent fight. Like, they're definitely gonna be talking shit to each other. So I think Nasrat though, he's very dangerous early because he can swing for the fences and sometimes on balance while throwing looping shots like Superman punches. And he's on balance. It's weird. He likes to throw like triple feints, really backing fighters up. And I think if he keeps backing Marc Diakiese up to where he just throws kicks, might be able to land a few kicks of his own. He's got a pretty good inside kick. He's very vicious against the fence. He finds it extremely difficult to stop from being dragged down. For his game, he has a high pace, and even his opponents puts his opponents on the back foot, and he makes them tired just by running away from him. He does a lot of hand touch attacks, which could be a little almost borderline eye pokey, but I mean it does stop the fight, and might break way for some pace trading and kind of getting energy back. I think he got a little too distracted by like high fives in one of his fights.
Yeah, like he's embarrassing.
You're not gonna do that against Diakiese, man. Like
Diakiese will kick your fucking head off.
He's gonna fuck you up.
Diakiese will say, "Please high five me, you stupid fuck."
So I like Marc Diakiese in this fight, both attitude and everything. But I think Marc Diakiese can blow it for himself and just go on that. Oh, I'm not gonna throw any punches. I'm just gonna kick, and then kind of not lead to anything. And I mean, and if he lands that magical kick, great. I hope he keeps landing it because I've been waiting to see something cool from this guy for a while since his last 2 fights, man.
Yeah, I agree.
His start off was amazing.
I think he landed something fucking nasty here. Next up, we got Stefan Struve versus Marcin Tybura. I'll let you take this one, Gib.
You know what, man? I feel like, and a lot of people would call me crazy, but I feel like in another universe, Stefan Struve probably would have been UFC champion at one point in time, man. And this guy knocked out Stipe. 7 foot. The guy can kick you from like across the ring, and he's got submission potential and can like triangle people. There are a few just people out there that have his number, like Mark Hunt and certain fighters who can really drag him into the depths, and hit him with bombs and kind of throw him off of his game, because he does pose a really good threat to a lot of fighters, and that's his range. It's just he sometimes overextends himself a bit, you know, but at the same time, in doing that, he has a lot of submission potential. It's just sometimes he loses it, and because he's dealing with a lot of fighters who can kind of deal with heavier opponents, they just move him around when it comes to some of the jiu-jitsu. I mean, Marcin Tybura had a war with Derek Lewis, had a war with Verdum. You know, Tybura had his back taken by Verdum a few times, and I can see Struve pulling that plan off. But, you know, Marcin Tybura does, you know, go back and, you know, reassess and then adjust his plan, because he was able to get out and jumped out the back door. You know, he's good at switching stances. He's really really good at landing big shots too, but he can throw that overhand right a little too much. I think when he couldn't land it against Verdum and he just kept throwing it, Verdum just like picked his shots and was able to, hell, he even threw it like a diving knee at one point. It takes him a while to warm up a bit, but once he does, man, he tends to really hit people eventually with that big right hand, even if he does overuse it. If it finds its place, Struve might get cracked, might go down from that. But to be honest, I want to see Struve win, so I'm taking Steven Struve in this fight.
Who do you think is gonna win?
Tybura, 100%.
Okay.
I want Steven Struve to win, and I want him to win by submission, because he probably can take Tybura's back, and he could lock something up, man.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Tybura's got some nasty jiu-jitsu. He's a brown belt.
Yeah.
He's a brown belt himself, so I don't see that happening. I see Tybura throwing up that left head kick, grappling Stefan Struve, just like Andre fucking Arlovsky did. Andre Arlovsky grappled Stefan Struve. So I see Marcin Tybura having his way with Stefan Struve on the mat and everything. I got Marcin here. 3 units. Marcin Tybura minus 238 to win 1.26 units. Let's go. Next up is Vitor Miranda versus Abu Azaitar. Abu Azaitar, man, that guy's fucking nasty.
Think? Yeah.
I like him. Him. He comes from World Series of Fighting, has a lot of pressure, throws a lot of these nasty combinations, has this middle teep kick that he throws. He's going to bring a lot of problems for Vitor Miranda and Vitor Miranda's style, because Vitor Miranda doesn't like backing up. And he's going to have to back up, or he's going to drop here. I like the fact that he's coming. He took some time off. I'm not sure how good that is, but he's actually coming.
All right, you're back. And he's actually what?
He's 170 here, but he's going to be fighting at 185 here. Yeah. I think he's going to put the pressure on Vitor Miranda, and I think he'll ultimately break Vitor Miranda. I think his combinations are too much, and yeah, I think he'll ultimately break Vitor Miranda. So I got 4 units on Abu Azaitar at minus 189 to win 2.11 units.
It is a cool fight, no matter how you look at it, because I think it seems like Abu's long-awaited fighter getting his shot at the UFC after a lot of hard work outside of it. He beat Jack Marshman before his shot at the UFC with a ground and pound, very difficult to stop as he constantly pushes forward using his constant pressure and his own weight too, just puts opponents off balance. Like I said, he comes forward, and if you don't have that stopping power, you're moving back, and he's coming forward, and he's probably going to hit you with punch right down the middle or a knee or a teep. That back kick is ridiculous, man. Check out his Peter Struve fight to see what exactly type of pace Azaitar is capable of causing a major draw on a fighter with fewer defeats than himself. So, close to the UFC as well. Who has a good eye for catching kicks. He's always ready to turn up the pace, and when he sees people are off balance. As I said before, he's a shock absorber, but he can step right into the phone booth a little too much and a little early. And if the opponent is faster and more technical, could pose problems for him, since he looks like a bull who just kind of charges. He throws just that single shot. He throws that single shot a lot. So, as the fight goes on, those tend to be slower and slower shots as your stamina tends to weaken. So Vitor Miranda, as a K1 kickboxer, he's got a lot of tools, man, and he's very quick at jumping on kicks if they're too slow. Good at blocking. He can throw right back and rattle off single or 2 or 3 shot combination. Left hook, maybe a 1-2 punch, then a kick. Simple and effective. Throws a mean uppercut to the body. Nice back teep. Walks out to the Smallville intro. I kind of like that. In a fight with Marvin Vettori, that southpaw style and middle kick was able to keep Miranda at bay. So if you're quick enough on the outside, you can definitely beat up Miranda, because he seems to have a lot of trouble tapping.
He got beat the fuck up in that Marvin Vettori fight.
He has trouble chasing, like his kickboxing's great, but when he's standing in one spot and it's 1 or 2 shots. But, if he follows you, Abu can take him. But because Abu keeps charging forward, I can see it going Vitor Miranda's way, But I do want Abu to win it. So I'm taking him too, because it's his first time in the UFC. So.
Yeah, let's go Abu.
Yeah, man.
Okay, next up, we got to go over to Teixeira to get Corey Anderson. I'll let you take this one, Gib.
Corey Anderson, he does his best work on the attack, and he knows when to change things up. Sometimes he can stop and observe for a little too long. Sometimes kind of costing him a little bit of time. And when time's winding down, Corey Anderson goes at his own pace, and sometimes for the most part it works, but he does have trouble with technical fighters. Likes to favor tons of little steps, which I like in a lot of the heavier weight classes. But as the fight goes on, those little steps become bigger and bigger. And if they chase him, he can get kind of tangled up and hit up on the ropes. But he's got a really big sniper right hand. He kept missing Shogun with it, but he lands that thing, man. And he connects with a lot of guys in the first round, and they don't get back up, man. So he's deadly in the first. Cranston threw a big flying knee in that Shogun fight, but was not ready for the amount of fight that he got off the fence. And throughout the fight, if Glover can keep moving forward and make Corey Anderson fight off on his back foot or fight to get up from the floor, he can definitely win. Corey is known for a lot of early finishes. Like I said, at the end of round 1, he tagged Shogun with a big shot. It's just he wasn't ready for Shogun to keep the same pace coming forward. He expected him to just back off completely and kind of let Corey Anderson do what he wanted. But Glover, he's got a high level already. Even with his age, he makes it work. Very calm when things are going for the opponent. He can turn a fight around in a minute. In that Misha Serkinov fight, Misha was clipping him with big shots. He was hurting him against the fence. But when he took his back and started to work, he was able to get the finish and beat a fighter who was on a win streak and doing really well. He causes a lot of problems for people early, and you don't want to be on the ground with him, because once he gets you there, man, Glover will keep you. And I think Corey Anderson doesn't have as good wrestling to keep Glover off of him. guys like Phil Davis could wrestle him off, and Phil Davis is doing great right now in Bellator, and you know, a lot of the top guys beat him. But I mean, that Anthony Rumble Johnson fight, you know, getting tagged, Corey has that type of power. Corey Anderson has that type of power too, so I think it's still pretty close. But I like that triangle on Kyle Kingsbury, and yeah, he's I think Glover takes it.
Yeah, I also like Glover in this matchup. Just a little note here: Glover is a fucking monster on the ground.
Yes.
Very crushing top game. Super, just very good at transitions. Just he's a monster on the ground. Corey Anderson on his back doesn't offer a lot. So if this gets to his back, I think the fight might be might be done, but it'll take a large part of the round out. That's for sure. Stand up wise, Glover can knock him out real quick because
for sure.
Corey's a little bit chinny, and Glover passed that power punch. The only thing that worries me is Glover's been knocked out a couple times too by Rumble Johnson and Alexander Gustafsson. And the Gustafsson fight wasn't too long ago as well, so I know he's had a fight since then, but the Gustafsson fight wasn't too long ago. I do like Glover in this matchup, though. I think he's going to be able to wrestle Corey Anderson down and get the job done here. I think his top game is going to rule supreme, and I think he gets the job done. Next up is the main event. We got Shogun versus Anthony Smith. And Anthony Lionheart Smith, man, since moving up to 205, he's knocked out Rashad Evans. Looked real good in that fight. Before that, he was getting knocked out at 185 by Thiago Santos. He was. This guy's like the only thing that worries me with Anthony Smith is he has like 13 losses, and I think 12 of them are fucking finishes.
Chin in the air, man.
Yeah. 12 of them are finishes. That's fucked. But he's been knocked out quite a bit as well. Shogun, on the other hand, he's on a win streak. He's knocked out Jean Vellante, beat up Corey Anderson, and then who else did he fight?
Before that?
Before Corey Anderson.
Before Corey Anderson, he fought Nogueira.
Yeah, Nogueira.
That was 15, though.
Yeah, that was at UFC 190.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another, you can't sleep on Shogun, man.
No.
He's older, but I think he still has the power in his hands to deliver a knockout. So this is a hard match. I like the fight doesn't go to decision prop here. I think that's a good line as well. Let me see what the line is now. But oh my goodness, it's at -1. It's at like -400 almost. Yeah, it went as high as it went to like 230, 260 or something. I would have played it at -260. But other than that, I think Anthony Smith wins this matchup. What you good?
You know what? For a light heavyweight, super tall, both in the stand up And on the ground, I thought the Andrew Sanchez fight was looking tough for him in the beginning. But I then saw Anthony Smith rolled him over onto his back from side mount. Real good decision-making in a tough spot. Watch out for that lion left hook that he has. Turns it into jabs a lot. He can even do uppercuts with it. He likes to line up the same shot, adding a kick to them with his right kick. Tends to eat a few front kicks to the leg. But, again, his stance is very wide and kind of out. Tends to back up. But, he's got a lot of power. And even with his chin in the air, you have to get somewhat close to him to touch him. And if you're about that close, he can probably hit you with something and blast you with a big shot too. I think both Shogun and him have that type of power that, like, you get cracked and you're getting moved. And if you sit there and let that person work, someone's gonna add up to something and get a big shot off. He starts to slow down as the fight gets into the late rounds, but he's still dangerous in the stand-up. He makes people pay. Sanchez lost him back too many steps. He's just going back too many steps, and he went into a huge head kick. Well, it should have been a head kick, but it ended up being a knee. And man, landed way closer than expected. I'm sure he was probably trying to land that real farther, but man, you can't back up against Anthony Lionheart. He's got the distance to hit you. Shogun, he's got a lot of weaponry and a lot of toughness to him. Showed up during the Corey Anderson fight, getting clipped at the end of the first, and then all of a sudden just destroying Corey Anderson throughout the fight. At one point, I think Corey Anderson wrestled him to the fence, and Shogun didn't even look worried and just kind of muscled it out, and then Corey Anderson got off him, and that was it. Shogun just kept pressing the pace and really rallied. Rua, you got to watch him carefully. He watches people carefully throughout the fight, and he narrows down what strikes to choose. And at the slow pace that the fight does tend to go, almost at a crawl, man, he lands that overhand. He starts making people pay, uses the jab to measure the distance, even though he doesn't have to. He just kind of uses it to make them think that he's doing something, and then all of a sudden, bam, hits you up on the fence, throws a random kick in your face. He does tend to play a lot with his hands down, which might not be so productive against Smith, especially since they can both hit each other from pretty far range. But I think in a lot of the wrestling situations and a lot of the grappling, Shogun probably has it. But Lionheart, you gotta look out for him in the very beginning, because he's really good in the scrambles. Right when people go to the ground and think they're on top, he can really hustle and get back up. So this is gonna be a real good fight. I got Anthony Lionheart Smith as well. I think he'll remain dangerous throughout the fight, and if it doesn't go all rounds, I think it's going to a knockout, man, in the second or something.
Yeah. So we both got Anthony Smith in the main event.
Yeah.
And that's that for UFC Hamburg. Let's cash these bets, guys. Just a review of my bet. 3.72 units. We'll start with biggest to smallest. 4 units on the blue Azaitar. Minus 189 to win 2.11 units.
Yeah.
Okay, just to review my bets. 4 units of blue Azaitar, minus 189 to win 2.11 units. 4 units Bartosz Fabinski, plus 152 to win 6.08 units. 3.5 units Manny Bermudez, minus 235 to win 1.48 units. 3 units Marcin Tybura, or scored 3.72 units. Marc Diakiese, minus 186 to win 2 units. 3.5 units Manny Bermudez to win minus 235 to win 1.48 units. 3 units, Marcin Tybura minus 238 to win 1.26 units, and 2.5 units, Aleksander Rakic plus 109 to win 2.72 units. So let's cash these bets, guys. Let's get it done. Let's look for the sweep this weekend. Let's get it, guys.
Get it.
Take care.
Thank you.